Hello fellow coffee botherers, in this video we're going to be talking about this, the Lelit Anna, and asking the question, could this be the best sub £500 single boiler espresso machine? Let's find out. This is the PL41TEM, also known as the Anna 2 or Anna PID, and this is a version with the PID, pressure gauge, pro steam wand and toggle switches. There are a couple of slightly lower priced versions of the Anna. The LEM version doesn't have a PID, and the EM version doesn't have the PID or the Pro Steam wand and has buttons instead of the toggle switches. I'm not sure if this is all that relevant as neither of these versions are currently on the new Lelit website, but I thought I'd mention these versions just in case anyone sees them and doesn't realise the different Anna versions. Let's start out with the specs. Dimensions: 23cm wide, 26.5cm deep and 33.7cm tall, approximately. 250ml brass boiler, brass group 57ml, PID algorithmic temperature controller with adjustable brew temperature and steam temperature. Brew temperature range from 80 to 130 degrees Celsius in 1 degree increments. Steam temperature range from 120 to 140 degrees Celsius, again in 1 degree increments. 3-way solenoid valve, vibration pump, adjustable OPV. Internally you have to take the lid off, but it's very easy. 57ml portafilter, single and double shot standard baskets. 2.7 litre water tank and deceptively big drip tray, over 800ml capacity. First impressions. It's nice and compact, looks quite cool, it's all polished stainless steel, so I think it looks pretty decent quality for the money. Until you put your hands somewhere near it, of course, at which point, like all silver steel machines, it just turns into one great big fingerprint. And it turns into a mirror, which is a bit of a pain when you're trying to film with it. Hopefully you can't see that the cameraman is filming in just his wireframes. It feels like it has a really stable footprint. It doesn't give you the impression it's going to slide around when you're locking and unlocking the portafilter. I really like the look of the toggle switches and the PID controller. The steam and water valve looks like a bottle lid. I do think it could have been nicer if I'd been picky. Overall though, I really like the way it looks. How much is it? This is £450 in the UK, €529 in Germany, and about $700 in America. Why am I just hearing about Lelit? Well, you could have been living under a rock. Lelit have been around for quite some time. They've been manufacturing espresso machines for well over 20 years. But to be fair, they've not really been a mainstream brand up until now. They're well known among the home barista community, especially for the Mara X and the Bianca. But if you're fairly new to shopping around for espresso machines, you might not be familiar with the brand as you might be with Sage or Breville and DeLonghi, for example. Now Lelit is part of Breville Group, known in Europe as Sage Appliances. They've still been hand-built in Italy, that's not changed, but they're part of a much bigger entity when it comes to distribution and marketing. And that's probably why you're just finding out about them if that's the case. What's the espresso like? As always, this will depend on the beans you're using and how well extracted it is, which also depends on the grinder you're using and your home barista skills. But with a capable grinder, with a little bit of practice, and of course with coffee beans you like the taste of, when well extracted, this machine is capable of great results. Lovely texture, which is obviously at least partly down to the grinder.
Slurp.
And that's lovely. I mean, it is Coffeeworks chocolate brownie blend, so it would be, but it is really, really nice.
Slurp.
And I'm using the DF64. Got a really nice mouthfeel, but again, the grinder is partially responsible. Like I've said before, the grinder is more important than the espresso machine at the end of the day, and obviously the coffee beans are very important. But yeah, it's got a lovely viscosity, lovely gloopy,
Slurp.
chunky body, and it's got a really nice, well extracted, well rounded taste. Very nice, very, very nice.
Could you do like lighter roasts? You've got a good grinder, like.
Yeah. In theory, you can change the temperature in 1 degree increments. And this is a decent grinder. You could, if you change you might want to change the burrs. You might want to go for one of the SSP burr sets if you're doing lighter roasts. But yeah, in theory, you could use a setup like this for lighter roasts. You probably want to spend a bit more money on your setup if you are doing lighter roasts for more precision. Speaking of coffee beans, this would probably be a good time to hear from our sponsor, me. If you're just getting into home espresso and you're wondering what coffee beans would be good to start out with, if you're in the UK, I'd highly recommend you try these, the Coffeeworks Chocolate Brownie Blend. This is my coffee. I co-own seaworks.co.uk, so I am completely biased, but this is what I drink most of the time, and it's my favourite blend for milkies. As with all of our coffees, it's very freshly roasted, usually on the day of dispatch, as you'll see from the roasted on date on the bag. And it's among the most forgiving blends I've ever used when it comes to dialing in. It's also relatively low cost for freshly roasted beans, currently priced at £19.99 per kilo, with free delivery within mainland UK and Northern Ireland. Even better, use discount code YT25 for 25% off your first order at seaworks.co.uk and you'll get a kilo for £14.99. Flipping bargain. What's the steam power like? Let's time steaming 170ml of milk to 60 degrees Celsius and find out. At the preset steam boiler temperature, 125 degrees Celsius,
55
seconds. At the maximum boiler temperature, 140 degrees Celsius,
38
seconds. I have to say, this is one of the best single boiler machines I've used when it comes to how easy it is to steam milk with. What's the steam ready time?
It's 1 minute 36 seconds.
What's the espresso temperature like? Obviously, this will change slightly depending on the brew temperature. This is the espresso temperature with the brew temperature set to 94 degrees Celsius. That was between about 75 and 78 Celsius. What's a hot water temperature like? So about mid-60s with the brew temperature at 93. But we've figured it out about 20 degrees in the testing. We've done about 20 degrees or so less than the brew temperature. So when we set it to 130, which is ridiculous, we were getting close to 100 degrees. In fact, slightly over 100 degree water temperature. So it's hot and powerful. What's a hot water power like? This is a new test. I don't usually do this, but this is a fast hot water delivery for a single boiler machine delivering hot water from the steam wand. So I thought it'd be interesting to test how long it takes to dispense 200ml of hot water. What does Anna compare to? This is a single boiler espresso machine, and the closest obvious comparisons would be the Gaggia Classic and Rancilio Silvia. There are various pros and cons versus these two machines. The main pros, keeping it very brief, are that it has a PID, so you don't have to temperature surf. The OPV comes set to about 10 bars, but it's very easy to adjust it simply with a flathead screwdriver, and it has a pressure gauge. Versus the Rancilio Silvia, steam power is more manageable and adjustable, and steam ready time is quite a bit quicker. Versus the Classic, steam ready time isn't quite as quick, but you have more steam power for longer, and again the steam power is adjustable, and I think most people will find it much easier to learn to properly texture milk with the Anna versus the Classic. The main con versus the Classic and the Silvia is the 57ml portafilter. Third-party accessories aren't as easy to get hold of. Although this Gaggia wood handle tamper fits the 57ml portafilter perfectly, and you can get very nice official Lelit tampers from Lelit UK. What I really like about it: what's amazing about this machine, particularly for the price in Europe, it's not quite as good value in America, is how much value for money it offers. To get a machine with an adjustable PID, with such a wide range of adjustment in 1 degree increments, adjustable OPV, 3-way solenoid, pro steam wand and pressure gauge, and proper standard basket portafilter for £450 is amazing value for money. Or another way to put it is that the cup quality potential of this machine, paired with a capable grinder, of course, is amazing for this price point. By the time you've fitted a PID on the Classic, you're probably up to about £600 or so, depending on the PID kit, and for the Silvia around £700 to £750, so we're talking serious value for money here. I really like the simplicity of the PID adjustments, the brightness of the display digits, the look of the toggle switches and the size of the drip tray. The drip tray for a single boiler machine with this kind of footprint is huge, about 0.8 litres. Okay, it doesn't have a floating pop-up indicator to tell you it's full, it would benefit from that, but it does have a big capacity. What I don't like about it so much. Cons of this machine pale into insignificance in my opinion versus the pros at this price point, but it does have cons. The main one is the 57mm group, it just makes it a bit of a pain for accessories. You can get a Lelit tamper, or as I've mentioned, the Gazia one fits perfectly, and there are others, although nowhere near as many as there are 58mm portafilters. But it's things like dosing funnels, dosing cups, puck screens, replacement baskets and so on. You'll find them, but you'll have less choice. Aside from that, all I can really do is nitpick. It has a cutout so you can see the water tank, but the water tank is relatively opaque. You can see the level if you really look closely, but it's not obvious. Some of the edges are a bit sharp. In particular, the black plastic parts on the drip tray, and some of the metal edges are a bit sharp too. Ow! I'm not a massive fan of the water tank not having an external handle. What it means is that to actually place the tank into the machine, rather than to drop it and have water splash everywhere, you have to put your fingers into the water tank because there's no space for your fingers at the edges. So if you filled it, your finger ends up in the water, which probably isn't the most hygienic thing to be doing. The steam knob doesn't inspire me much either. The way it looks and how far it sticks out from the machine. It's not a huge deal, but if I'm nitpicking, that's one thing I'd probably change if I could. The only other thing to mention is that you have to run the pump separately from selecting water or espresso. So instead of just pressing a shot button for espresso and pressing a hot water button for hot water, you put the toggle switch in the appropriate position, brew, steam or water, and then for espresso or hot water you activate the pump with the pump toggle switch. This is similar to the Sage or Breville Duo Temp Pro, only that works with a dial instead of toggle switches. And there you go, the Lelit Anna. In a nutshell, if you were considering the likes of the Gazia Classic, Rancilio Silvia, Sage Duo Temp Pro, Mi Coffee Apex or Turin Legato, the Lelit Anna very much punches above her weight and should probably be on your shortlist. As I've mentioned, it's not perfect, no machine is, and you're definitely not going to get close to perfection at this price point, but to get a single boiler machine with a PID, brew and steam temperature adjustment in 1 degree increments, adjustable OPV, okay it means taking off the lid and handling a screwdriver, but even I could do that. Brew pressure gauge, Pro Steam wand, 3-way solenoid and a really nice sized drip tray. And the machine made in Italy, mainly from steel, thin steel but steel nonetheless, not steel clad plastic, for under £500 I think it's the bargain of the century.
Ben Warwick 69 commented on the Sage Duo Temp Pro versus Bambino Plus. Is there anywhere you'd recommend to get a better dual spout portafilter than the Sage Breville one, as that's currently $79.95, which seems a lot.
Hi Ben, the only spouted compatible portafilter I'm aware of that looks half decent is this, the Normcore one. See the link in the description, it'll be an affiliate link, so buy it and make me rich. Cheers! Thank you very much for watching, and if you think coffee is oh my god, and you enjoyed this video, please drop us a like on this video as it really helps. We've got tons of content about how to make better coffee at home to take you from beginner to home barista. We've got reviews and how-tos on the most popular machines. If you like the sound of that, click on my face to subscribe. Tatty Bye!